Hey guys, so welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Let's carry on where we left off. It has been a hell of a week for me, personally. If you've missed my community post a few days ago, my pregnant wife and I, unfortunately, both got hit with COVID. Thankfully, we're both on the mend now, but obviously I had to make sure her and the baby were okay. Not to mention that I wouldn't be able to record while sounding like Van Zeeks on a temporary basis. I mean, it's cool when I'm voicing him in-game, not so much when it's because of a sore throat. Anyway, let's reacquaint ourselves with the case using the court record and our conversation history, since I'm sure Mr. Van Zeeks here is getting tired of aging his wine. Alright, we're up to speed. We're blaming the murder on the Skulkin brothers. They're the ones who shot Mr. Winterbank in the back. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? What? I didn't get off of what you just said. The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly cannot and will not stand. 2 adverbs in a row, Van Zeeks. We're getting serious now. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing? Well, you know, you're more than welcome to point it out while your badass theme plays in the background there, sir. I say, Lord Van Zeeks, might be an idea to explain this bolly conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground, The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Of course it is. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets? It's here. Right, of course, because there was only 1 bullet fired from the Skulkin brothers' gun, and that was directed at Herlock Sholmes. He noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? I haven't been here for a week. I've been sick. I can't remember anything. Counsel! Yes, sir, that's me. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. 2. 2 bullets? Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. Right, the one in the calendar. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. It's a strange trajectory, no? It's like really high up. And it's straight as well, like it's not at an angle, like we're assuming with, well, not assuming, we've got the autopsy report confirming it was shot at an upward slope. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver, belonging to the victim, Mr. Winterbank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend, what's 1 plus 1? God, that sudden head raise. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yeah, well, yes, I did, but you can see they're sweating bullets right now. We can have more than 2, I'm sure. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find. But if the single bullet was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means... Winterbank not shot by same gun, stop. Only 1 bullet, stop. Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, he can only juggle 2 bullets at once, it seems. It was never anything more than a diversionary trick, with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Ugh. There we go. Ah! It's okay. I already bought myself some time, right? That's all I need to do while I wait for some new evidence to pour in. Order! Order! Oh god. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Zeeks, you can't just litter your damn wine wherever you please. But this court needs to open its eyes. He says as he closes his own eyes, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. Regrettably, I'm sure. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. Uh-oh. He's playing up to her reputation now. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. The victim was the ceiling now? Uh-oh. Oh god. They're all turning against me! And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. Ooh. The music disc. The one that belongs to McGilded, the one that's got blood on it. That disc. We only made a copy of it on Herlock Sholmes' caramel bars. I'll be taking whatever that is of Mr. McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much.
No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine.
I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. Yes, that music box disc. McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Winterbank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed. No crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. Okay, that's conjecture. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament to the defendant's character. Whoa. Lord Van Zeeks, Inspector Gregson? What? Why are we not allowed this into evidence? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence. Oh? Really? What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? Did Van Zeeks not get the memo? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zeeks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. Government bigwigs? Right from the top. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. I am the top, you are the bottom. Understand? Is that clear? I top, you bottom. Your warning is noted. Thank you. Is he deliberately going against orders, or is he just being kept in the dark? He's just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to present my evidence, because I'm in charge. Gregson looks panicked. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed. Bailiff, the music box disc has been entered into the court record. A metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. On the reverse side is a note that reads, for McGilded. Well, you know we're going to have to look at this. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Oh, are you resting your case there? Hang on, before we proceed, let's take a look real quick. Okay, it looks like it's still the same disc. It's got the blood stain on it. That's a good identifier. It says for McGilded. I wonder if Lord Strongheart is the one responsible for trying to restrict this from being submitted as evidence. I also wonder if we could check the owner of this blood, at least what color it turns, because I think we know who this belongs to, right? It belongs to Egbert Benedict, because there was a bit of a scuffle with Gina Lestrade as they were fighting for ownership of it, if I remember correctly, which feels like a long time ago now. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Runo, look! This is blood.
Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before.
Then it's my time to shine again. I thought I'd be waiting forever. Alright, hold still with that disc, Runo.
Oh my god, we're doing this right here, right now? My lord, what's that behind your chair over there? Just turn around really quickly. Van Zeeks, I think you need to clean up your mess that you made when you threw your wine bottle behind you. Can we get this done quickly, Iris?
In a flash.
Okay, just do it under the desk, quietly, please. Oh god. I promise, guys, everything is under control. I am not experimenting on this green. Green blood, huh?
Oh, a lovely bright shade again.
Interesting. I don't think it was Herlock Sholmes who cut his finger on this. Because he only took it later to make the copy on the caramel bars. Wait, that color. What does this mean then?
What is it?
It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? So... what? Okay. Wait, hang on. The blood samples portfolio has been updated. 4 samples of blood analyzed with a special chemical indicator developed by Mr. Sholmes. Different people's blood turns different colors. Okay, so what are we saying then? That, that bullet that's in the calendar is not the one that shot Herlock Sholmes? Is that what we're saying? So there must be, like, another bullet somewhere for McGilded. Let's have a look real quick.
For McGilded? That's the man you defended in court a couple months ago, isn't it, Rune?
Yes, or rather, mistakenly defended.
I wonder what his name is doing on the back of this disc.
I think it's because it belongs to him. It's addressed to him. That's a question I'd love to know the answer to myself. Unfortunately, everyone's trying to keep secrets from us. Okay. Well, farewell. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. Ah, he is resting his case. Okay. Thankfully, we just uncovered this new piece of evidence as he's closing, which means no take-backsies. You know, I'm going to run this court from now on. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once. For all of 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. I only had it for 5 minutes.
Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Rune. Oh god, it was even less.
My lord. Oh, sorry. What if I might say something at this point? Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling about in a bit of a fog up to now, if truth be told. But all of a sudden, the answer's wholly obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh no. Here we go again. Very well. The court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
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 Okay, you're not even a resident, a citizen of England, okay? You're just a tourist. A phony one at that. I can't believe this guy has sway in this court. Besides, didn't 2 of you already declare guilty? We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Oh, Van Zieg's terrible. I can't believe you're coming up with this line now.
That's my line. I wrote that. For Hurley.
Yeah, and he butchered it as well while he was at it.
Oh, how dare you use it against us?
Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windeback. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. How many are we going to get? Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Garden Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty. Right. I see now why a few of you guys think the summation examination mechanic is overused. It's supposed to be like a climactic sort of thing, right? Like you're literally on the ropes, your client is guilty, and that happens a lot in Ace Attorney trials. But here I feel like we're getting a lot of summation examinations. We're not getting much of that, you know, your usual listen to the testimony, find the thing in the court record, present it. But that's fine. Let's just survive again, shall we? Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens.
There's only 2 bullets were found at the scene. I would say the whole case is done and dusted.
You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. This guy all the time.
The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead.
I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns. Okay, good to know. Thank you for your valuable contribution. It's almost as valuable as juror number 4's. It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt. Have to admit I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in the black. When that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Hoodwinked? Well, no more. Ugh, the whole courtroom is turning against me. Again.
It's not fair.
Iris?
That prosecutor's being mean.
Okay, well, yeah, I could say he could be nicer, but unfortunately, Iris, he's just doing his job, and he's very good at it.
Just because Ginny's done some things she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer.
You were saying, sorry? Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Cry some more, feed me your tears, put it into this goblet here. Here's to the truth coming out, eventually. Come on, Ryunosuke, meditate. We're not fazed by this anymore. That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Here. We're ready to go. Just do what we've always done. Yes, my lord. Okay, nothing really stood out to me immediately. We're going to need to press some more. Jury examination. Skeleton Brothers is standing at the back there for the second time. The defense's rebuttal. Okay, where do we start? Okay, let's start with juror number 2 here, with 2 bullets found at the scene. I'd say this whole case is done and dusted.
Hold it!
It's the number of bullets that has you convinced.
Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlour maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings.
Well, that's logical, I suppose.
Although,
Yes, what? Although what? Yeah, tell me. Open yourself up to a weakness.
sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china.
Does your employer dine with thieves? Or poor people?
So I suppose. If there was another bullet somewhere of which we are unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position.
A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene. Could that be possible? Yeah, we gotta bluff our way through it. I can prove it. Absolutely. There has to be, right? Oh god. Oh no, I have to present something. Allow me to show you then. The 3rd bullet. Just let me rifle through my notes here for a second. Okay, I'm starting to think I came to juror number 2 a little bit earlier than I should have. That's not to say I'm gonna roll over and give up so easily, however, because there is a penalty on the line. Maybe I do have a way out. And I've landed on this post-shooting photograph. This is probably my best bet about the lamp at the bottom of this picture here being shattered, whereas at 1 o'clock it was still intact. I don't think we have discussed anything about a bullet being fired around that general vicinity. We did talk about the books, the doll in the skull being tampered with at the very least, but nothing on that lamp, so here's hoping.
Take that!
Take that! Oh god. It's never a good sign when, as soon as you say take that, he does this pose where he scratches the back of his head and gives a nervous smile. I don't suppose this one passes the 3rd bullet? It passes for a bullet as much as you pass for a lawyer, my learned friend. How dare you append my learned friend to all your insults? Coming from you, I'm going to take that as meaning not much. In no way does it resemble a bullet, if that helps your understanding of my last remark. Ugh. Counsel, at the very least, I would expect the evidence you present to be of the correct form. Oh. It's been a long day. It's been a long week, okay?
Let's actually try to find this 3rd bullet before we attempt that again, Reno.
Okay. So, it must exist somewhere. How are we gonna find it? Maybe our resident, non-resident, maybe more of a tourist, ballistics expert here can explain something about where the 3rd bullet might be. He's seen many shootings, after all. Probably on his travels. I thought you were just a tourist. Oh, here he goes. Yes, I am tourist. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. You're saying the same sentence over and over again. It doesn't apply in this instance. There's no way he's just a visiting tourist. Oh god. When Ryunosuke, who's not even a native of London, is questioning your English ability. That's... oh god. So, you're a ballistics expert. Who knew? A thought you might have been more of the explosive variety. I have much experience with guns. I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent bath of, no, blood of,
Extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps.
Okay, you don't have to sound so happy when you say that sentence, Iris. Those extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Something tells me Ryunosuke that he's the one who cuts them out, not the one who has his own removed. Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know. No mystery I cannot solve. He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure. But, if possible, please, only in Russian language. Why? We're in an English court. I'm not speaking Japanese here.
He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he?
No. Still, we should bear it in mind. He's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets. I wonder, though, if we do come to him for help, if something gets lost in translation, for instance, and we need to clarify it, could be possible. Van Zieks has managed to convince everyone.
When you have eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't.
If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. Maybe we need a stereoscope expert to tell us on where we can find the bullet. It's procedure number 3. So if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures. A left eye one and a slightly different right eye one.
Exactly. Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions. Like this.
So, if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them? I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes. It's been mentioned once or twice, I think. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. Damn it. Okay. Actually, juror number 4, his operation that he keeps harping on about. I'm wondering if he actually operated on Harlock Sholmes, because this is that kind of game. This is the kind of coincidence that would come in handy during a trial. Let's press. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? Just focus for 5 minutes, please. My defendant's life is on the line. She's just a juvenile, even though Van Zieks said she's not. The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Uh-huh, but I'm pointing at you. I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. Ooh, really? Are we talking about Harlock Sholmes here? It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? I wouldn't know, I'm not a doctor. I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on... What was the fellow's name now? Herlick? No, Herlock? No, Herlock? Harlock Sholmes, by any chance? Even Ryunosuke's like, what is going on? Like, who rigged this jury? Yes, good lord. It was that Herlock fellow. I like how Harlock Sholmes' theme kicks in and he looks pissed off. As in, like, his patient was probably pretty unruly. What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes. That's right. Using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you. This is crazy. I don't believe it. Let me see. The fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other. So I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. Ugh. I hate to state the obvious, but what the heck, man? Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. Or is it now? The counsel for the defense is correct. For now. As is clearly shown in this photographic print. The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. Surprisingly, Sherlock Sholmes' stomach is towards the upper part of the door there. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally. Ha! Who do you think I am, son? Juror number 4 is about the best I can do. Also the guy in the green coat who tripped over. Juror number 6 last time. As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake? Are you saying that you checked his back? Were you doing gymnastics? Of course I did. And there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all. Oh. So, no exit wound. It should be still inside him then, but you couldn't find it. What? Maybe I just need to drag Sherlock Sholmes down to the courtroom and present him to juror number 2. That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I set about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery? It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together. They're really leading into it, aren't they? Hanging that lampshade. The mystery of where that bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert when you need one? Ha ha. Well, I've got an expert right here. I'm hoping he will answer your question though, because I feel like we need to do it in Russian. I feel like these summation examinations, especially towards the end game here, we need to follow a specific path, right? We need to find out information from juror number 4, then we gotta pit him with juror number 6 here. Hopefully that can tell us where the third bullet is, and then we can go back to juror number 2. And then we can pit her against, I don't know, someone. Or we'll just press her, I guess. But in the meantime, I think your dialogue hasn't changed, but you still claim to be an expert. Let's pit them together. Let's see if this works. Here we go.
Objection.
Okay, good. We don't need to know Russian. Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Ooh, a ballistics expert. Beating. B-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, where the hell is this bullet? A bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot, but I think we can establish now that's not Sholmes' blood. This is a different bullet. Technically, this is the third bullet, right? Juror number 6. Hello, my name is William. Pleased to meet you. Well, I'm glad you're using a different phrase this time. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. I'll try to speak slowly for you. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen very similar situation in the motherland. Really? This is a very specific situation, mind you. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold. I like how we get this nice music track in the background as he reminisces, petting his pet rat. Golly. The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles, and they were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind, and I fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I hear today from Doctor. You know what? At least he's listening. Okay, I'll give him that. He's listening to the trial, unlike said a doctor here. They could not find the bullet in my body. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. Oh, okay. So, I guess it just grazed you and you felt it? Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down? Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks just like bullet wound. So Sherlock Holmes was just being dramatic this whole time. He got skimmed by the bullet, and or something else got skimmed by the bullet, and it flicked onto his chest or something. Good gracious! Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me, and that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. Okay, if the ice melted, how do you know that it was an icicle? But that's a pretty interesting tale. Well, but that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in a pawnbroker shop. Not some snowy mountain road in another country. Okay, yeah, this is not an exact replica. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. God, I feel like I'm dealing with a bunch of kindergartners. Seriously, this is not show and tell. I know Ben Zeeks mocks you guys about your IQ levels, but damn, he might be right.
Rene, where exactly was Haley shot again?
Well, according to the report, in his stomach, sort of around this area, I think.
Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch in his belt.
Okay. A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that.
Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations.
I was thinking they might be vials, and then it would be glass that pierced him instead. What? Really? Or maybe there was a chemical reaction that felt like a mini explosion in his pouch. Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing? Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember. If I may, Lord Van Zeeks, while I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, and you were happy to do so when I proclaimed to have found the 3rd bullet, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? Convenient. I'll take that. That's a happy coincidence, though. I wouldn't even call that a coincidence. It's directly relevant to the case. As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes uninjured, or injured, sorry, he was howling like a madman in pain. They removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Oh, thank goodness. I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Well, you haven't been paying much attention, that's for sure, at the very least. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping, along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. I wonder if he can extend that same guarantee to the music box disc. Very well. While extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Sherlock Sholmes' pouch. I think I know where we're going to find the 3rd bullet, and I think I know what we're going to present to juror number 2 now. I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it? Yep, one of the vials is definitely shattered. Look at that. One of the files is broken, and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded. So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch, and it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury. This bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into wall of shop. Yep, gulp it down, because I'm about to feed you some yum truth juice. A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. Huh. I still think you made a mistake resting, buddy. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. Ugh. But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight, and you can start listening to the testimony properly. Thank you, young man. For that, you owe me a not guilty. Duh. Thank you very much. Glad I could help. I don't even know how I helped juror number 6. Due to its bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester the scruffy pouch as evidence.
Holly's pouch isn't scruffy.
Sholmes' pouch has been entered into the court record. The pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing around his waist at the time of the shooting. One of the glass files is smashed, and there are scorch marks around it. Now, the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion, please, my lord. A little more time. We just got some new evidence, for goodness sake. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. Let's take a look, before we forget. Where is it? Well, looky here. I think I found a third bullet. It's really scorched badly just here.
Oh, the strap is broken, look.
This must be where the bullet hit, then.
Let me see.
Ooh, the leather caught it as well. Excellent. What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was, do you see it?
Ah, that's the Skulkin Brothers bullet.
What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch. Oh god. Coincidence is luck, it's just all coming together. We're escaping by the skin of our teeth here. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is, there were 3 bullets fired at Windibags that night.
We found exactly what that juror was talking about. The third bullet.
It's time to press that juror again, I think. The third bullet has been entered into the court record. We can actually present the actual third bullet. A projectile we discovered lodged in Mr. Sholmes' pouch. It caused one of the files to explode, injuring Mr. Sholmes. There's still a way to turn this around somehow. I'm sure of it. Well, we just found it, Ryunosuke. Come on. Let's get to it. We still have not turned anyone's opinion. That's not looking good. Hopefully here. Let's press juror number 2.
Hold it!
No, that's wrong!
Take that!
Here's your truth bullet. I mean the third bullet. Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Windibag's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired. I promise I did not just pull this out of my ass.
Hold it!
Uh-oh. Here he comes. He's gonna be like, you had that the entire time. What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? I just summoned the bullet into my hand. I'm a dark sorcerer. Where did you find that bullet? You gave it to me. It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? God, I love this sprite so much. It looks sufficiently evil, yet you can tell he's frustrated. This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to hospital. And since then, it has been touched by no one. At least according to you. Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin Brothers that night? Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. Ah. 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Clearly there was a third gun somewhere. Yes, that of Mr. Windibank, and that belonging to the Skulkin Brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each.
Ah. But that must mean...
Yeah, that's right, you doofus. I was right all along. You're not seeing in stereo. That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired, at the very least. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Ah. Ow! Oh, there's the 4th bullet. He just got shot. Everyone down. Order! Order! I'm surprised he didn't, declare order when a puff of purple smoke emanated from the defense's bench when we were examining the blood on the music box disc. While the summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. Oh, we're suspending it. By Jupiter. What? But no one's changed their verdict yet. Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once. They've got a lot to answer for, honestly. Ooh, everyone is shocked. The drama is heating up. These two clowns, I swear. And then we got poor Inspector Gregson lumped in with them. Witnesses. Governor. Were you listening to proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination? We was, Governor, we was. Perhaps we can dispense with a tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A third bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? Oh, I don't make nothing of nothing if I can't help it. Is it one of yours? Go blimey, Gov, go blimey, not a chance. In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? Hey, what? Never! The Skulker brothers work alone! It's just the two of us. That's our trademark. How soon we forget poor Sulky. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Lummy, that's an head scratcher. Lying, again. Counsel for the defense. Yes? I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The third bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture. A picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what this third bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. I am leaning towards they had a secret accomplice. Because why would they have another gun, you know? It wasn't found on them. It had something to do with them. On top of that, there's someone's blood. And I believe that to be Egbert Benedict's blood. On the night at Winterbank's pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been working with a third man. The witnesses are clearly doing their best to cover up the existence of this accomplice, but quite frankly, they're falling quite short. But the evidence all points to the fact that there was someone else present. Someone carrying a gun. Well, what say you? Yep. Pour yourself another one. An accomplice, you say? Pigswill. What? These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Hey, you know, I'm just trying to stay alive here, okay? Maybe you stop prosecuting me so hard, we won't get any more summation examinations, okay? Stop doing so good. Yet in all that time, there's been not a murmur of a third man. If this apparently wraith-like being exists. God, I love his choice of words sometimes. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy would be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of the spurious character. Okay, well, I think I can answer both of those, at the very least. The Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? I think we already know, Ryunosuke. Well, counsel. I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity, even. In response to the prosecution's demands, my lord, the defense is... Another penalty on the line. We're ready to present answers, I'm confident. Even though it's been in quite some time since I've last played. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. You asked me a question I intend on answering. Swimming eyes, he says. This promises to be interesting. There, stop swimming, eyes. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene? I believe it would be the blood samples portfolio. Let's present it.
Take that!
Probably should have taken some time to think about it, but Oh, it feels good when you present evidence with confidence. The evidence is right here, in this portfolio. By Jove, that portfolio again, is it? Yeah, it comes in handy a lot. Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. Okay, geez, calm down. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it? Well, okay, rifle through my papers. I've only got 4 of them, and it's right here, the very first one.
Take that!
Take that! What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. Your Honor, my lord, you don't recognize this particular picture? It's just got different colors on it. I promise I didn't color it in. That's a bloodstain, my lord. A bloodstain? Shaking his head. Green blood. Curious even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? You were the one rambling on about a wraith-like monstrosity of some kind. This shouldn't come as a surprise to you. It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. By the great detective.
New inventions, stop. Not yet appeared in stories, stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This vulgar sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood?
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements.
My lord, you didn't see the experiment we conducted earlier under my bench and a pink cloud appeared out of nowhere?
So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is.
I'm telling you, it wasn't Iris dyeing her hair. Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood.
Talk of blood in courtroom, stop. Very exciting, stop.
My god, she's mashing that transmitter. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windibank, and he's probably not a Smurf or an alien. Ah, a striking blue. And here, yes, so you see the green color of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold fire there, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No. It's not unrelated. You can tell by the date. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windibank was killed. Now sit down and shut up. By golly, if you just applied half your brain, Mr. Garrett, you'd understand this. I wouldn't have to spoon feed you everything, okay? Goodness me. Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. Thank God for Mr. Windibank's pedantic behavior regarding the date. As soon as it ticked over midnight, he swapped that right quick. Then whose blood is it? Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries, unless that one brother got his leg shot off, and he had to amputate it in half, which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? Well, I am on a roll, so please stand by. Pretty sure it's Egbert Benedict. Even though, even if I didn't know that was his blood on that disc, that was green, out of just pure elimination, he's the only person it could be. I wonder if I could still present him if I hadn't discovered his blood.
Take that!
It'd be funny if I was wrong. The man's name is Egbert Benedict. I don't know if it's made up or not, to be quite honest. Egbert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, Consul? I haven't had breakfast yet. He paid a visit to Windibank's pawnbrokery in the afternoon before the incident took place. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. Yeah, you know who else deceived the pawnbroker? Egbert Benedict. That's right. Uh-oh, there's that head raise again. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict. Then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. And that's when he cut himself.
Broker?
Yes, sir.
I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no?
Yes,
The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. No, that's a lie. Why are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel.
And needless to say,
as I twirl,
any music box discs too.
Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. Thank God for that, too. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Can you corroborate this account, Inspector? Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. Why do you sound so hesitant? Just because you're supporting the defense here? In the interest of being thorough, I asked Winterbank for his print showing the fellow. Oh, brilliant. We've got a picture of him. 11 a.m. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder gubbins. Yes. That's him talking to Mr. Winterbank that morning. And he was killed about 14 hours later. And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice? Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin? What say you? I've never seen the geezer before in me life. On me life, Cov, on me life. Never seen him. You two are the worst liars. The circus needs to stop. Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion. It's not like they've ever told the truth before. I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion. Which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Which you're still waiting for, I'm presuming. Yes, and I can.
Then show us the evidence. I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is.
Uh-oh. Black background, it's serious time. Are we near the end? No way. No freaking way. We've got so many things unresolved. And yet, I've been holding out for like a 2-day investigation, 2-day trial phase, and it's never come. So, who knows? This is the lost piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. I better finish this dialogue before we zoom in right into his fish eyes. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom. Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel? Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in this photographic print was in fact the person, struck by the third bullet. I'm on a roll here. I can't be stopped. Music box disc. I can't be stopped, but the music can. As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Winterbank's. Uh-oh, I'm doing the double adverbs now. Which is when the aforementioned Eggert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? Purloin. Funny sounding word. That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. But of course, sir. Here's the disc for you. Huh. Very well. This broken jacket. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute. That disc. It's mine.
Whoa.
Oh! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp?
You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Ooh. Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. And the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Does that get your rocks rockin', juror number 5? Goodness, a bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom. Ouch, man. That's sad. We're talking about Iris as our assistant now, not Susato.
Using my trusty Volga gun.
Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio. And there you have it. I say.
It's green. It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar.
And you should get excited. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Eggert Benedict, who was in Winterbanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that night.
So there was someone else there. Look at those two brothers now. They're sweating buckets.
Oi, who are you talking about? Spoiling in here. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Eggert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. Can we just do that? Can we just, like, summon this random man who we no idea where he is right now, or where he lives? It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence. I mean, like, surely this means we're gonna get a day 2 trial.
Objection!
Uh-oh. This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Huh? Hey, you rested at your own peril. Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. Oh, for the vulgar classes? Yet how did you know to steal his line? So, you been reading Sherlock Holmes' adventures? Iris not happy. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land? Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. You know what's sad? I mean, he has a point. For all he knows, we just dyed the bloody disc green. Like, we just had some green paint in our pocket, painted it. Like, oh, look, it's the same blood, guys. There's no... Look, this is a prototype from Iris, and we're all supposed to just accept at face value. Hey, there's a chance that, you know, no blood is going to be colored the same. It's all going to be green, you know, if it's related to this one person or whatnot. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Wow. See, Van Zeeks, we're on the same wavelength here. I shouldn't be playing devil's advocate. Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Oh my god. That's what I've been saying. Well... Oh god. His leg's on the desk now. And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Or that we should go around making 6 billion people bleed. Oh, his leg's back down.
Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes something? I don't know. I mean, he's a great detective. What are you talking about?
Can't let him get away with that. I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have? I mean, it's good, but it's not conclusive evidence. It's good for us knowing, and that can hopefully guide us towards the path where we can find legitimate evidence, but for now...
I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before.
Father Christmas?
About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination.
Oh, the judge, of course. I was thinking about juror number 4 for some reason. Oh.
In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Good grief. What did you just say, young girl? Right. I don't have to convince Van Zeeks. I need to convince the jury.
And in a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of 6 jurors, isn't it?
Oh, he's not happy. These low IQ buffoons. You seriously going back to the summation examination right now?
It's the way I see it. It doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. I'm not going to look at them right now, I'm just going to look at you. At least not for now.
Yes, she's right. Young lady, you have quite the devious mind.
Really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Ryuno.
They bloody damn well better be. I'm fighting for Gina's life here.